The city of Linton was alive with noise. Cars honked in the evening rush. Street vendors shouted their last calls, and the clock tower in the square struck 6, echoing through the streets. For most, it was the end of a workday. For Daniel Carter, however, it was the beginning of frustration. Daniel stood at the corner cafe, checking his watch for the 5th time. His coffee was cold. His co-workers had already left with their spouses, hand in hand, laughing as they disappeared into the evening crowd. And still, his wife, Rebecca, was nowhere to be seen. They had planned this dinner for weeks, an anniversary date, 6 years of marriage, reservations at La Riviere, the fanciest restaurant in town. Yet once again, Rebecca was late. Daniel tapped his fingers on the table. Every time, he muttered under his breath. Every single time. Rebecca was brilliant, a successful interior designer with clients across the city. Her schedule was a whirlwind of deadlines, meetings, and last-minute requests. Daniel admired her talent. He truly did. But her constant lateness gnawed at him. It wasn't just dinner dates. It was church services, family gatherings, even flights. Daniel still remembered the near disaster in Chicago when they almost missed their plane because Rebecca had decided, at the last minute, to reorganize her handbag. His friends teased him about it. "Man, you need to set her watch 30 minutes fast." One joked. Another said, "Just tell her dinner's at 7 when it's really at 8. Daniel would laugh on the outside, but inside, resentment simmered. That night, after arriving 40 minutes late, Rebecca breezed into the cafe, flushed and breathless. "I'm so sorry, love," she said, giving him a hurried kiss on the cheek. "Traffic was insane." And then Mrs. Callahan called me about the living room redesign, and Daniel cut her off, his jaw tight. "Do you realize how long I've been waiting? Do you realize this was supposed to be special?" Her smile faltered. She opened her mouth to reply, but Daniel grabbed his coat. "Oh, forget it. Let's just go." Dinner was a quiet disaster. They ate in near silence, Rebecca picking at her food, Daniel stabbing his steak as though it had personally offended him. The candlelight that should have glowed with romance only highlighted the distance between them. That night when they returned home, Daniel lay awake staring at the ceiling, bitterness crawling over him like ivy. Is this what marriage will be? Endless waiting, endless excuses. He turned over, away from Rebecca, who slept with a frown etched across her face. The next morning, Daniel woke early and wandered into the living room. He sat in his armchair, Bible in hand. His eyes fell on a passage he had read countless times but never really absorbed. "Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud." The words struck him like lightning. Patient, kind, not proud. He read them again, then again. Daniel closed his eyes. "Lord, I've been so angry. I've demanded, scolded, sulked. But I haven't been patient. I haven't been kind. Help me love Rebecca the way you love us." Something shifted in his heart that morning. That evening, Rebecca was late again. This time for dinner at home. Daniel had prepared her favorite meal, rosemary chicken with roasted potatoes. By the time she walked in, the food was lukewarm. Her face crumpled. "Oh no, you cooked. I'm so sorry, Daniel. I lost track of time." Daniel walked over, took her hand gently, and kissed it. "It's all right. You're here now. Let's warm this up together." Rebecca blinked in shock. No anger, no lecture, just kindness. As they reheated the meal side by side, she felt something stir deep inside her, an unfamiliar sense of being valued rather than judged. Over the next weeks, Daniel made patience his daily practice. When Rebecca was late for Sunday service, instead of honking the car horn, he sat quietly, humming a hymn. When she arrived breathless, he smiled and said, "I'm glad you're here." When she showed up 30 minutes late to his company's banquet, instead of sulking, He greeted her warmly and introduced her to his colleagues with pride. Rebecca noticed. One evening, she broke down in tears. "Daniel, why aren't you angry anymore? I keep failing you and you keep smiling. Don't you care?" Daniel took her hands and looked into her eyes. "Rebecca, I do care. But love isn't about keeping score. Love is patient. Love is kind. You're worth waiting for." Her tears fell freely then, soaking his shirt as he held her close. From that night on, Rebecca began to change, not out of fear of his anger, but out of gratitude for his patience. She set reminders, planned ahead, and slowly the lateness that had plagued their marriage began to fade. But the real test came one fateful night. Daniel's company had secured a meeting with international investors, the biggest opportunity of his career. Rebecca had promised to accompany him to the formal dinner. Everything was perfect. Daniel wore his best suit. The investors were impressed, and the evening flowed smoothly. But as dessert was served, Rebecca's chair remained empty. Daniel's colleagues exchanged awkward glances. The investors whispered among themselves. "She promised she'd be here," Daniel said quietly, his chest tightening. Old anger threatened to rise. "Not tonight, Rebecca. Please, not tonight." He excused himself and stepped outside, dialing her number. When she answered, her voice was frantic. "Daniel, I'm so sorry. My cab broke down on the highway, and there's no signal for another. I'm trying to find a ride." Daniel closed his eyes, gripping the phone. Every muscle in his body screamed to explode, to shout, to release the frustration boiling inside him. But then, like a whisper, the verse returned. "Love is patient. Love is kind." He exhaled slowly. "Rebecca, it's all right. I'll stay safe. I'll come get you." Leaving the investors behind, he drove into the night. He found her on a dark stretch of road, standing under a flickering street lamp. Her makeup was smudged from tears. Her shoulders slumped in defeat. When she saw him, she broke down. "I ruined everything, didn't I?" But Daniel only embraced her. "You matter more than any deal." The next day, Daniel expected reprimand from his boss for leaving the dinner early. Instead, the investors themselves called. "Mr. Carter," one said, "we've never seen a man treat his wife with such devotion. You left fortune behind for love. That's the kind of integrity we want in business. The deal is yours." Daniel was stunned. Patience had not only saved his marriage, it had opened doors beyond imagination. Years later, people still spoke of the Carters, not because Daniel was a successful executive, nor because Rebecca's designs adorned the wealthiest homes, but because of the love that grew between them. At family gatherings, when someone teased Rebecca for once being the late one, Daniel would smile and say, "She taught me patience, and patience taught us love." Rebecca would take his hand, her eyes shining with gratitude, "And he showed me kindness when I least deserved it." Their story became a testimony for couples everywhere, that patience in marriage builds love instead of resentment. And above their doorway, carved into the wood, were the words they had chosen as their life's motto. "Love is patient. Love is kind." If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring family stories filled with faith, love, and life lessons that will keep you glued from beginning to end.